You mad, bro? Probably not. One of the most famous or infamous statements, depending on the person, written by Nietzsche is the parable of the madman, in which a madman from the mountain yells, "God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him." Which is a bit of a strong statement, considering this man is yelling in the bright morning hours. Come on, dude, you should have had the decency to wait till everyone had their coffee before quashing their ideologies. Nevertheless, maybe the madman isn't really quashing as much as he is enlightening. The madman, who is a pariah, comes down from the mountain to shed an introspective light on his audience. However, what is this introspective light attempting to uncover? The madman, in his ascetic rumination, has realized humanity's metaphysical error. In The Twilight to Idols, Nietzsche writes,
"The real world, unattainable for the wise man, the pious man, the virtuous man, he lives in it, he is it. The real world, unattainable for now, but promised to the wise man, the pious man, the virtuous man, to the sinner who repents. The real world, unattainable, unprovable, unpromisable, but the mere thought of it a consolation, an obligation, an imperative."
Nietzsche is pointing out a real world that is different from the lived-in world, that is, the world we currently establish. The religious overtones are undeniable. The real world is promised to the pious, virtuous, the wise, the sinner who repents. The real world is a world beyond the natural lived-in world. As an example, something like heaven or Kant's nominable world. The madman, however, believes this world is erroneous, and there are significant consequences to this. Cue the madman. The first group he berates are those who believe in God. They scoff at the madman. The madman, however, is exposing their inconsistencies and the devastation of God's death. First, they are inconsistent because they do not believe in God, but they hold the same value system as those who do believe in God's existence. Second, the devastation is in deconstruction. There's a deconstruction of humanity's system of values based on belief in God. This is a deconstruction of almost all reality as humanity has known it. Morals were based on God. Human worth was based on God. The meaning of life, yet again, was based on God. The madman realizes the devastation of deconstructing the metaphysical error stipulated as the real world, which is beyond the actual or natural world. Following this deconstruction, humanity is now in the Wild West, where there are no rules and everything they knew and lived by is wrong. To emphasize this destabilization, Nietzsche wrote,
"What were we doing when we unchained this earth from its sun? Whither is it moving now? Whither are we moving? Away from all suns? Are we not plunging continually, backward, sideward, forward, in all directions? Is there still any up or down? Are we not straying as through an infinite nothing? Do we not feel the breadth of empty space? Has it not become colder? Is not night continually closing in on us? Do we not need to light lanterns in the morning? Do we hear nothing as yet of the noise of the grave diggers who are burying God?"
The death of God is the death of the real world. Humanity has founded all reality, and its death results in utter destabilization. Despite his efforts, the madman realizes that he has come too soon. Humanity is not ready to grapple with the consequences of God's death, the destabilization of losing the real world. Is this all the parable is about? Absolutely not. That's the beauty of a parable and the bummer of 60 seconds, or maybe a couple more seconds. There's too much info for one video. Nevertheless, we are left with a few questions. Who is this madman? Where did the real world, natural world distinction come from? If it was created, who created it? Do morals exist? And if we believe the madman, where does humanity go from here? All I can say is that we have an awesome segue to future videos. But before we finish, one question for the viewers. How do you interpret Nietzsche's parable of the madman? See you next time.